Welcome. I'll be reviewing Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 12, and Picard, Season 2, Episode 2. The music in this Discovery episode was so atmospheric. It really set the mood of kind of nervous tension going on of what's gonna happen. I completely agreed with Michael when they only waited a few minutes after initial hailing frequencies were opened, because they only had 15 hours. That's really not a lot of time. And they needed to try as many forms of communication as possible. I liked it when they used the dots to add that "we come in peace" kind of a chemical. It showed that Michael's decision to go down to the planet before trying to communicate was a good one. Only vaguely related to this episode, other than the fact that Tig is awesome, Facebook has me figured out. They showed me an ad that Tig Notara was going to be in my area, and they're like, "Hey, buy tickets." I have not clicked on an ad that fast before. Yeah. So I am the proud owner of a Tig Notaro ticket right now. I am so excited. I'm going to be wearing a Star Trek shirt to go see the show, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of other people doing that. We are obviously not allowed to take any video during the performance, but I might vlog a little bit before and afterward because I'll probably be like full Trekkie fan mode. It's not going to be pretty. The black licorice Easter egg was just so fantastic because not only was it a tie-in to Lower Decks and that recent episode where the replicator would only do black licorice, but she basically used it to MacGyver a communication device. Like, we needed more reasons to love Tig. And then her character had some really good moments this episode. I mean, Jet basically took Book aside and said, "Look, you are making dubious choices because you are in pain, but you can rise above that." And then being so vulnerable and telling that story about her wife, it was just, oh, I feel for her. The 10C had some pretty cool defensive attack water. That was a fun scene, although I think I heard some of the dots actually screaming, which was a little bit disturbing. Ever since R2 and Chopper, I get so attached to anything that looks like a droid. It's not good. Hugh deserves his vacation. He took time out in the middle of a crisis to help coach Zora. And if anyone deserves some time off, it's him. When Book started talking about how trust was everything in the courier worlds, it made a lot of sense, but also, Book, you betrayed Michael. You broke that trust when you went gallivanting off. I get it, he's deeply honorable, but I feel like she deserved his trust as well, and he let her down. As much as I love Book. Also, can we talk about the fact that Booker is actually the Dread Pirate Roberts, and the name is simply passed down between couriers? So he's basically the 5th Dread Pirate Roberts. That is so cool. He and Michael can ride off into the sunset, and he can turn to another character and go, "Have you ever considered couriering?" And now we are in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I did a reaction to if you haven't seen, where we are mirroring back light patterns and emotion particles rather than music. It was such a similar situation and vibe when they were standing there in the shuttle bay. So Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I love that they chose a really unusual alien and not just another generic humanoid with stuff on their forehead. And then right after I made that note about the music, Discovery brought it up on their own. What little fondness I had for Tarka as a result of seeing his backstory has completely vanished. I mean, he was going to destroy an entire civilization with, "Oh, they have 3 minutes to get out, that's enough time." In what universe, Tarka? And then only 1 month before his little plan would have destroyed Earth? Oh, 1 month is more than enough time for scientists to save us. No! Tarka! He is such a good villain. I can't stand him. But it also shows that Jet was right. He is making decisions out of pain, but unlike Book, he doesn't have that sense of decency to know where the line is and when to stop. The scene where Saru and Michael were just shouting into the void to release frustration was so cute. Especially when Grudge was like, "Wow, wow, what are you doing?" That ending was amazing. What a good cliffhanger. I believe in Jet and Book though, because if there is any team up that can save the galaxy, it's those two. They're gonna get out and they're gonna stop Tarka. I believe in them. I really enjoyed this particular episode. So many fascinating interactions, and the story is just hurtling forward now. The pacing issues that they were having in the beginning of this season are gone. I genuinely think Discovery is a great show, but they're suffering a little bit from what Bilbo Baggins would call butter scraped over too much bread when it comes to the plot. Like, there's a good story there, and I love the characters, but it's like a few episodes in the middle of the season are kind of like, I'm not sure what to do. I feel like they could use that time for kind of a day in the life episode or concentrating on a particular character rather than trying to stretch out the plot beyond its limits. They've gotten a lot better. Like, this season has been really good. The reason I'm complaining a little bit is that I want more. I want backstory and interactions. More Hugh cleaning randomly in the episode. That's what I like. Okay, fine. I just want a Space Dads show. You've got me. Adira, Space Dads, and Grudge. Make it happen. Paramount Plus. On to Picard. That opening scene with Q was just crackling with intensity. John Delancey is perfection. If anything, he's become more Q-like and terrifying and wonderful. Is John Delancey actually Q? Because I wouldn't be surprised. Moral convictions are the luxury of the victors. Uncomfortable truths from Q. And it looks like he learned something from Sisko because he came out swinging this episode. Poor Picard. There was a great In a Mirror Darkly reference that of course completely threw all of us off because, I mean, I was like, oh, we're in a mirror universe, right? I mean, he literally said, like, through a mirror darkly. And then they turned that around and said, oh, no. Not a mirror universe. This is an alternate dark timeline. Is it wrong that I kind of want that beautiful Star Trek weapons cabinet museum layout? I've seen some Star Wars Mandalorian blaster prop makers who are really good at their craft have these amazing displays of weapons all over. We need a Star Trek version. What a way to bring in Gul Dukat, Sarek, General Martok as skulls. Oh, what a scene. I was both horrified and also like, can we talk about the fact Picard's evil ship is called World Razor? What an epic name for a starship. I laughed so hard when Picard got coffee in the morning and was like, what is this? Because the minute I saw that little cup placed down, I was like, this is an evil universe. I bet it's coffee. And then he took a sip and I was like, oh yeah, it's coffee, isn't it? This really is the circle Dante overlooked. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel about coffee too. I'm just like, oh, it's so disgusting. Why would anyone ever drink it? Apologies to coffee people. Team T. On a side note, Dante's Inferno, actually the whole trilogy, is just a really good read. I would highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out. Dante is just the most petty, amazing writer ever. He put like all the people he didn't like in Inferno. Like, ha 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 ha, I'm putting you in that circle. He's basically the Mean Girls of poets, and I'm here for it. His expression when Harvey was like, it's Eradication Day, is basically my reaction as well. Like, we need to get out of this universe/timeline now. And I was a little bit too happy to see Mirror Universe/alt timeline San Francisco because I live in this area and I don't think we've seen evil San Francisco on Star Trek before, so it was kind of cool in a terrible way. If Picard was disoriented by the coffee, let's talk about Seven showing up without any Borg implants and with lipstick next to her bed. You can't smell in a dream. Sorry, Seven, you actually can. At least I can smell in my dreams. I also get pain reactions because a lot of mine have to do with running around having people after me. I don't know about you, but I remember most of my dreams, and primarily I am trapped somewhere, like an old mansion, a lake. One time I was stuck in a freeway interchange. That was truly a nightmare. And there are people coming after me with something. Guns, knives, chainsaws, you know, the usual. So I have a lot of very intense dreams, and I can definitely smell things. Like I can smell the blood and the wet plants if I'm outside. If I'm running through a kitchen trying to find a knife to defend myself with, I can smell the cooking in the dream. Does anyone else have that? How vivid are yours? And like I have a little bit of ability to hold things and make things appear. Like I can usually change what I'm wearing. I can give myself objects, but I don't have full control. Like I don't have any control over like the environment itself. Okay, I have very strange dreams apparently. But anyway, 7. If I had been in her situation, I would have run those tests and I could still have been in a dream. I would not have come to the conclusion that I was awake, necessarily. The reveal that 7 was the president, that got me. I was like, what? It's like waking up and finding out you're President Snow in the Hunger Games. Like, what would you even do? I mean, they would come out and say, all right, sir, we're going to be announcing this year's Hunger Games. Also, Star Trek, giving us General Sisko teases and then not showing us General Sisko. Come on, evil timeline General Sisko, please, please, please. Maybe in a later episode? I mean, they get captured at the end of this one, so maybe their interrogator can be General Sisko. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh. And if they had it bad, poor Chris, showing up in the middle of a dogfight with no idea what was going on or who was shooting at him. He was having quite the day. I really like that they gave us vignettes of everyone kind of waking up and finding out where they are. A lot of these kind of mirror universe type episodes, it concentrates on one particular area. Whereas this one, people were scattered all over, so we got all these different perspectives. I really liked that format. And then although it was a brief moment, it was great that Chris was struggling to figure out his own ship controls because, I mean, they're in a different timeline. It wouldn't be the same. And that moment of him going, was just really realistic. Okay, I take it back. It looks like Elnor was having the worst time of everyone. Thank goodness Rafi was there. I could watch 7 going around all day in this, just runway walking her way through an episode. She looked amazing. She's also playing along incredibly well. Like she's using a bit of a pompous tone to figure out what was going on and demanding explanations in a very presidential manner. I would vote for her. Can she be the actual Federation president when they get back? Okay, Agnes, stop being so adorable. She's rapidly becoming my favorite character. That little cat AI that she programmed was, it's just the best. And she is so bad at pretending to be her kind of mirror universe self. Like, when she kind of toddled off going, so we're going to assume that this is something I know how to do. That's basically me whenever I try to go to a party or a social event where I don't know anyone. I'm just like, so we're going to assume that this is something that I know how to do. It was interesting that the Borg Queen was aware of multiple timelines and realities all at once. Trans-temporal awareness. Might almost be worth becoming a Borg Queen. Almost. And she confirmed, indeed, this is an alternate timeline, not a mirror universe. So Q is basically even more unhinged than usual. I'm a little bit worried about him. Alright, the super brassy version of the Picard theme when he landed was just outstanding. I loved the music in this episode. And then Picard's expression when he saw the way Elnor was being treated, and he was like, okay, you are messing with my adopted son. I am interfering. I absolutely adored Agnes's bubbly, completely incoherent speech that got the magistrate so confused. that he was no longer suspicious. He was too busy trying to figure out what she was saying. Annika's 7-shot. She also sounds a lot like me when I'm attempting to flirt. Just random babbling like Anakin. I hate sand. It gets everywhere. And then running away. She is so awkward and I love her. That was a fantastic brief fight scene from Elnor as well. Although it's probably going to come back at them now that they're kind of on trial. When they started talking about, oh, we need to do that slingshot maneuver to 2024, I was like, yeah, you need to do that quickly because both sides want to take you out. There's not a lot of time, and sure enough, cliffhanger. Both Star Trek episodes were cliffhangers. It was such a good episode. It was just a wow. That was so good episode. The Borg Queen is still plugged into their ship. I kind of feel like she's going to get them out of it. I don't know how, but there were only a few security people, and we have a lot of capable fighters. We have 7, we have Rafi, Elnor. I like our odds, even though it looks like a really bad situation. I think we're going to be fine. In fact, next episode, I'm pretty sure we're going to get to see 2024. So that should be interesting. Live long and prosper.